Okay, so today's menu is going to consist of collards, collard greens. The reason why I have them in this wonderful pan is because I found that collards cook quicker, more flavorful in the oven. So I'm going to cook them in the oven. We're going to use a chicken Boyleton cube. My hands clean. This for my family. I can do this. I don't know why y'all be playing like y'all cook at home with gloves on. If you got fake nails, I understand that. If you don't, hey, it's your family. You're going to cook with your hands. I don't wash my hands. So we're going to break that bad boy up like that. Typically, I will use water. And since I'm going, and it's not a whole lot of greens. It looks like a lot, but it's really not. Because I'm going to cook greens and peas. My husband don't like peas. So I'm going to give another option of greens. My son Kendall, he eats them sometimes he don't. So they'll have greens. We're going to break it up. I froze these. I cut these up myself. Froze them. And you could tell some real good collards. They got a little smell to them. Some of them don't have no smell. I don't know what they might be hybrid greens or something. But these smell real good. So we're going to use these. Okay, so I have some ham juice because I had my ham in the crock pot on low all throughout the night for today. So what I'm going to do is use this ham broth, proper name for it, on my greens as a form of seasoning. Now, as you know, if you cooked the ham before, you know that it's extremely flavorful. The juice is. So I'm going to use it for this. And I'm going to use some of the juice for my peas. That way, I just won't have to use all water. One thing about cooking these in the oven, you don't have to put a lot of water in there. Because what happens is, it's pretty much like steaming them. So a little bit will go a long way. So I'm going to put some more. I don't measure stuff. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll notice I don't measure stuff. I just pretty much just eyeball it and do it. So, just gonna stir it up a little bit. You can see some of the juices from the ham. I promise you it don't take a lot to season the greens in the oven. Cooking greens in the oven was better than cooking them on the stove. That's what I would have been doing all this time. The pan that I got is really big. I found that when I have a bigger pan I cook them in, they get done faster. So I can put these in the oven 30 to 45 minutes and they'll be done. Okay, so you see how much juice we have there? It's not a whole lot, but it's enough for it to be flavored. Take your foil and cover them. Cover it up. Try to have it where it's no opening so that that steam will cook them from the heat. And then pop this in the oven. Okay, so these are black-eyed peas. With the ham juice we have left, we're going to cook our black-eyed peas. Got these from the farmer market. They're supposed to be black-eyed peas. They kind of look like purple whole peas. I like to go through them just to see if there's any that needs to be taken out. Fixing to rinse these. Okay, so we've rinsed them. We left a little water in there, as you can see. Now, the collard greens are in the oven. We are going to use the rest of the ham broth for this. Put it here. That's the ham broth. Over here, we're not wasteful, so give it a little swirl. Put it on the back eye, and we're gonna turn that bad boy on. probably do like 5. This, I just let them cook until they boil, they get tender. You can add meat to it, but being that we're using our ham broth, there's no need. It's going to have a lot of flavor. It's going to be just as good, I promise. Okay, so we got our collards in the oven, our peas are on, and the next step, we're going to make cornbread. Okay, so I've learned that the best cornbread ratio is 1-1. 1 cup meal, 1 cup flour, 1 cup milk, an egg. I'm going to do our cup of meal. Call me old school, but yes, I do still have a sifter. Meal is nothing but grind up grits. See that? That's what meal is. So if you run out of meal and you don't have none, but you have grits, grind you up some grits in the blender and you'll have meal. Can you see it? We're going to do 1 cup flour. Some stuff you don't have to measure, but when baking, everything has to be measured unless you're just she's naive. Now we're going to add our sugar. I'm going to do 1/4 and 1/2. Just because I do put honey in mine as well. Honey! And I use this brand of honey because it's raw and unfiltered. If you have to have filtered honey and it can't be raw and unfiltered, then you can use regular honey. It's going to be 1 cup of milk, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of oil, and now you're going to mix. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a seasoned rice. Gonna start off with some oil. I'm adding my rice. Let the rice get hot. You'll know when the rice starts to get hot because it'll start to turn a little clearish color. Get a clear tint to it from the oil cooking with it. It's gonna be seasoned rice. So we're gonna add season to it while the rice is being, I guess you can call it toasted. Seasoned garlic salt. Slap your mama to it. Garlic herb. This is an actual homemade seasoned rice. When you're making seasoned rice, you can add whatever you want to it. You can make it however you want to. You don't have to go out to the store and buy seasoned rice. You think about it, seasoned rice, you just adding seasoning to it. This is inexpensive. Seasoned rice chicken. You can use one of those little cubes I use for the collard greens in this. If you want vegetable seasoned rice, you can use one of those vegetable. They have vegetable cubes too as well you can use for it. Alright, I'm going to add a little dry parsley. Okay, so we're doing that. I'm going to get my water ready to add. Add your water. The water automatically turns hot because the pot is already hot. So what's happening is you're speeding up the process a little bit. So we're going to let that boil. Once all the water cook out, we're going to turn it down lower, add our lid to it. But I could teach you how to cook and get more for your buck. Being that we on this little, if you're a newbie to cooking, don't walk away on this. That's how you do a water test. Tell how much water is in there. Do another water test. Tell how much water you got in there. Spout out. Now that we're at this point, see how I'm turning and you don't see no water? It's coming down, but it's coming down afterwards. So we're going to turn our eye on down. Probably turn it around to about like a 2. Even though we took it down to a 2, by this being an electric stove, it takes a while for it to go down. So we're going to do another test. This is going to tell you if your eye is starting to cool down. And it is. See how it's moving slow? It's just like in life. You got to pay attention to the signs. You can turn that down to low. Okay, so this is the collards. I'm going to put them back in for a few minutes. These are our muffins. Our muffins are done. Our peas are cooking. Our rice is done. Collard greens are done. But I was just informed by my children that all of them are going to want greens. And being that I didn't cook all my collards, I'm going to add a cabbage in to help it stretch. So there was a change in the game plan. Like I did black eyed peas. Those who don't eat black eyed peas can eat greens, but all of my kids are like, even though we eat black eyed peas, we still want greens. So, to make it stretch, I'm adding a cabbage. Whenever you add a cabbage to your greens, you want to make sure your greens are done or just about done, because cabbage doesn't take long to cook and you don't want mush cap. Add in the cabbage, pop it back in the oven. Like I said, the cabbage is not going to take long. Once the cabbage is done, the greens are already done, it's done. Okay, so I thought I would be able to get away without doing any yams today, but they were like, So we're going to do some yams for my babies. To those of you who do not use fresh yams and use cans, do what you do. Whatever makes you comfortable, do it. I'm just not comfortable with it. Number one, I don't like the fact that I'm playing Russian roulette with eating hair, because some of that stuff be hairy, and I do not like hairy food. I'm going to go ahead and crank up my stove. I'm going to bring it around to about 5. Why do we use butter in yams? I don't know. I watch my mom cook them, and she always put butter in there, so maybe it's to keep them from sticking. We're going to put our butter in the middle. Now, these yams are not going to take long at all. I'm going to put about a cup of sugar in there. It's a 4th cup measurement, so I'm going to do 4 of these. I'm going to do an extra one because they like theirs extra sweet. Vanilla flavor in my yams. I do a 1/2 teaspoon. Then we're going to put a dab of allspice, just a dab. Now we're going to add our cinnamon. Cinnamon, you don't have to be stingy with it, just because that's what makes the yams yummy. You're going to let them boil, do what they do. Get a lid, put it on top. Don't have to babysit your yams. Give it a little shake. And then put your lid on. They'll do what they do. Everything is done.